Read more fiction for better relationships. Reading is a great way to boost your communication skills and open your creative mind. You can pick up a lot of great knowledge when you read. Some studies show that a regular reading habit means a longer and healthier life. Those are some pretty significant benefits of reading. One thing reading fiction does is improve your ability to empathize with others. Psychology. Today tells us that empathy improves your wellness in several ways. At its core, empathy is about understanding and feeling what others are experiencing. You may or not be sympathetic to their situation, but you can effectively put yourself into their emotional experience. This helps you connect deeply with others. Empathy can keep you from burning out, where you feel overwhelmed and incapable of carrying on. Understanding what other people are going through helps you recognize your feelings and deal with them, so things like stress and overwhelm don't lead to burnout. It might just save your life. Empathy gives you the ability to read other people effectively. It's not just about being able to understand someone's feelings. Empathy helps you effectively read what's going on in a person's mind, even if they're saying something entirely different. Determining if a situation is hazardous or non-hazardous is a core survival skill. Reading a wide range of fiction exposes you to multiple characters. Different emotions, outlooks, desires, and experiences are open to you. By exploring what these imaginary characters go through, you can connect better with the people in your life. Reading fiction improves your theory of mind. Theory of mind is a term used in psychology. It refers to the ability of a person to understand others and empathize with their feelings and experiences. Researchers David Comer Kidd and Emmanuel Castano reported in the October 2013 issue of Science that readers of literary fiction enjoy a greater theory of mind. This is fiction that lets you know the inner thoughts and feelings of the characters. This improved perception of how others are feeling and thinking extends to real-world relationships. It means reading fiction, where you get to know the characters, can help you form deeper relationships in the real world with real people. Reading benefits your life in so many ways. Start reading more to improve your relationships and enjoy better overall health and wellness. Target shorter books to develop a habit of reading. War and Peace rounds out to more than 1,400 pages. Leo Tolstoy evidently had a lot he wanted to say in this Russian historical novel. Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged tips the literary scale at 1,168 pages. It was the fourth and final book published in her lifetime, and it took her 12 years to write. If your head hurts thinking about reading those books, join the club. Even devoted readers can find it difficult to endure books of such epic lengths. If a high school student is given such a challenging book to read, it can sour that youngster on reading forever. No matter your age, you might find it difficult to get through more than 1,000 pages of text, even if you're really into the subject matter. A standard-length book can present a challenge for someone not used to reading regularly. The length of books can obviously vary. You usually look at about 300 pages for nonfiction New York Times bestsellers. Fictional best-selling novels are closer to 400 words on average. If you're not used to reading that much content and want to start reading more, target shorter books. Digital readers should check out Kindle Short Reads. Amazon sells more ebooks than any other online retailer. Years ago, they noticed the trend moving toward shorter books and took action. They developed best-selling categories they call short reads. As you have probably gathered, these are shorter ebooks. They are categorized by page length and average reading time. As reported by K-Lytics in 2019, 1/4 of all ebooks on Amazon were short-read ebooks and short stories. This is a great place to go if you want to develop a reading habit, but don't feel like tucking into a 300 or 400-page book. Here are the different Kindle short read categories: page counts, and estimated reading times. 15-minute read, 3,000 words, up to 11 Kindle pages. 30-minute read, 3,000 to 6,000 words, 1221 Kindle pages. 45-minute read, 6,000 to 9,000 words, 2232 Kindle pages. 1 hour read, 9,000 to 12,000 words, 4343 Kindle pages. 90-minute read, 12,000 to 18,000 words, 4464 Kindle pages. 2 hour read, 18,000 to 28,000 words, 6,100 Kindle pages. These shorter books make sense for a lot of reasons. In today's modern and busy world, you can enjoy an entire short read without a considerable time investment. You don't need hours of uninterrupted reading time at your disposal. If you prefer holding a physical book, read magazines frequently. Look for shorter paperback books. Target novellas and novelettes, which are considerably shorter than a typical novel. Reading shorter books can help you develop a regular reading habit without committing a lot of time and mental energy to the task. Proof that reading is the secret to a longer life. Yale University is home to a lot of smart people. The students and staff there have intelligence to spare. So the school was the perfect place to study a possible link between reading and improved longevity. The results were published in the September 2016 issue of the Social Science and Medicine Journal. Unlike some studies and bodies of research, this was an in-depth undertaking. Information was gathered from more than 3,600 participants who were all 50 or older. The volunteers belonged to one of three different groups. The first group were non-readers. These were people that said they didn't read. They may have to deal with a few written words at work, but other than that, they did no voluntary reading. A second group comprised people who read up to 3.5 hours each week. Finally, the third group consistently read more than that amount. Here's where the researchers got really dedicated. They only chose volunteers willing to seriously stick to their previous reading habits. They also wanted people that would provide information in the future. The researchers kept in touch with these readers and non-readers for 12 years. Here's what they found. The two groups of readers outlived the non-readers on average. The people that read the most, more than 3.5 hours per week, an average of 30 minutes per day, lived nearly 2 full years longer than the non-readers. Reading meant a longer life regardless of gender, wealth, race, and education. How does the simple act of reading make someone live longer? The Yale researchers found that regular reading improves 2 different processes, among others. 1. Deep reading, and 2. Emotional connection. Deep reading is what a reader goes through when they attempt to make context out of what they read. It helps readers better understand themselves and their world while reducing stress and boosting important survival skills. Emotional connection happens when the reader identifies with the characters in a book or story. This improves the ability of the reader to form important social connections in the real world. It also elevates emotional intelligence and improves relationships. Focus, memory recall, and other cognitive functions improve. It is in these ways that regular reading can help you enjoy a longer life. For those of us who love to read, living longer is enticing because it means we get to read more. Should you start quitting books to read more? Regular reading can improve your vocabulary. Maybe you're like some people that read to relieve stress. It helps you relax. For improved concentration, better memory recall, communication skills, and a boost to your creativity, reading delivers. Many studies talk about the life-extending benefits of reading. You can actually live a longer and healthier life if you read regularly. This has to do with a lot of factors. It's addition by subtraction in some cases. You aren't engaging in other activities that might be unhealthy in nature. We mentioned reading is a powerful stress reliever, and when you limit stress, you can add a few more years to your life. There are lots of great reasons for reading. Returning to this article's headline, why are we asking you to start quitting books if reading is so good for you? The answer has to do with possible resentment. If you're reading a book and not really enjoying it, you might feel compelled to finish it anyway. You've read a significant portion, so you may as well keep going. If there is no enjoyment, why should you have to finish reading it? If you feel like you must finish a book you are not really into, you might start to resent reading altogether. Not just that particular book. That's the last thing you want to do. Life's too short. Read better books. One of the reasons we feel like we should finish a book once we start has to do with our school days. When you were given an assignment, you had to complete it. There are no doubt more than a few books you had to read that you didn't enjoy. But you labored through, read the entire book, and then wrote a report or had a test on the material. When you're not in school, you are your own teacher. You're allowed to decide what you will and won't read. That means, if something you're reading isn't that enjoyable, Give yourself permission to put it down. Pick up another book, and another, until you find one you can get into. Doing this builds a desire to read more instead of less. You can't wait to find the next great book that keeps you spellbound. To build a stronger and healthier reading habit, quit torturing yourself. Stop reading bad content. Save your valuable time for wonderful books and other reading materials you enjoy. How comedian Jerry Seinfeld can help you create and maintain a reading habit. Jerry Seinfeld is best known for the television comedy series named after him. Seinfeld was a self-described show about nothing. It aired during the 1990s. It was and is one of the most popular TV comedy series ever. Before the series was launched, Jerry Seinfeld was a successful stand-up comedian. There is a story that says he once gave advice to an up-and-coming comic that asked him how he became so successful. Seinfeld said he worked on his craft daily, even if he didn't feel like it. That may sound like logical advice. It just makes sense. While this sounds simplistic, you can find 100 excuses for taking a day off from any activity you've committed to. The way the so-called Seinfeld method works is that you track your progress visually, not just mentally. If you want to read more and maintain a healthy reading habit, purchase a large wall or desk calendar. Place it where you'll see it every day without fail. Then give yourself a reading goal every day. Make it achievable and reasonable. Don't ask yourself to do something you know will not be possible. You may start by telling yourself you will read for an uninterrupted 30 minutes every day. The first day you successfully do this, fill that spot on your calendar with a bright color of your choosing. You might want to paste a happy face sticker on the day. Make it noticeable. When you miss your goal one day, put a big, ugly red X on the day instead. Look at how many days in a row you achieved before missing your goal. When you're first starting out, this will be your longest streak of consecutive successes. After your X day, start over and try to beat your previous best. Here's why this works so well to develop and maintain a reading habit. The calendar must be where you see it every day, preferably at the beginning of your day. It works because it's so visual. On days you forget about it, you get a visual reminder. If you can put your calendar in a place where others will see it, this gives you even more motivation not to miss a day. Believe it or not, filling in a day with a bright green, yellow, or blue color is rewarding. You'll feel good about it. Maybe you use the smiling face stickers we talked about. Whatever you do, make it a positive form of reinforcement. Similarly, the pain you experience when you have to give yourself a brutal red X is very real. Make sure your red X is big and ugly. It should really get your attention. After this happens, your sense of competition kicks in, and you want to get back on track. You will desire to do better tomorrow and beat your previous record of consecutive days reading. Do this with anything you want to turn into a habit. It may sound simple, but it's truly powerful. To be more successful, try to read at the same time every day. This makes reading a predictable habit, and you'll start looking forward to your reading time.